so much one piece or one book, or it's sort of an investigation into satellites and how people can use space, particularly use outer space like as an individual. And so this book here is called Faxes from Space, and the illustrations in it are using Cold War educational texts from this residency in North Carolina, where I built an antenna. So I started investigating, if you're an individual and you want to sort of perceive space, how do you do that? And so I have been investigating ham radio things. So I looked into ham radio and studied it, and so this is one of the various cool things you can do with ham radio. And so I, with the help of people online who do marvelous things like put up, I don't know, basically recipes for how to make things like antennas, you can follow them. And so this is the first antenna I made. It's installed on the roof of a building in North Carolina, in Greensboro, North Carolina, called Elsewhere. And I received, do you guys know Elsewhere?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
That's fantastic.
So I started receiving images from weather satellites. So this is a raw image that you can receive. But the images are, you can kind of, if you can see, I don't know, you can kind of see faintly Florida in there, like the
East Coast.
Yeah, the whole East Coast.
Right.
So it's clear here.
Yeah.
Because they're basically data. They have a whole bunch of sensors on the satellites, and they're sending down data, so they can be interpreted in a bunch of ways. So so there's one of the first ones I collected, and that's sea surface temperature that's pulled out of the data, and temperature. And so I've been doing this a bunch of different places and ways. And so this is a book called You Are Here. So I was at a residency in the Yukon, and so I was doing a lot of this. And some of it was exciting because in some of the images I collected, you could see the North Pole, which was pretty awesome. So this past summer, I was in Miami, and I was making beach ball antennas. So with the idea, because I'm very interested in how you can associate the place on the ground with the things that are in orbit, and I was thinking about how the beach is a natural place to do that, because you're already looking across, you're on the edge of land looking out across a vast ocean, so it's a natural idea to think about the celestial things at the same time. So you're at this intersection of all these different things, and the antenna is the similar kind that I made 3 different kinds, but the one here is the same type. But I was using a radio, so basically the beach ball shape holds the shape of the antenna, and then it goes into this radio dongle, which is sticking out of my computer there. And then it's receiving the signal and interpreting it as an image. I would recommend not bringing your computer to the beach. I'm working on that, and ways not to do that. So I also use images that have been collected by other people or other agencies. So I was working on thinking about how the images that NASA collects, for example, from the Hubble Space Telescope, are interpreted, and how we kind of see them, see this data as images. So details from the least popular. So NASA, all the images that are the most popular. There's an online archive of Hubble image data and Hubble images, and they're all ranked in order of popularity. And so the ones that you see are the Horsehead Nebula, and ones that you've seen posters of and so on. They're very they're really beautiful. They're multicolored and all that. I was thinking about how the data isn't something all of that's interpreted. You're not actually, if you were to be in a spaceship and look out the window, that's not what you would see, right? You wouldn't be able to see anything. It's interpreted so that we can see like the different gases or different temperatures or whatever. So anyway, and also it's just interesting that they're ranked in order of how they're popular. So I took the 100 least popular ones in that thing, and then I tried to find the least interesting detail area of it. And so this is a digital digital on-demand book, and so I was going for what was the most boring. But a sort of weird thing happened in that, like, I couldn't really make them boring. To my mind, I couldn't. And so it was this weird shift of aesthetic, kind of like from a very like popular, I don't know, like Thomas Kincaid kind of aesthetic to a more like minimal, Rothko kind of aesthetic. You know what I mean? So it was like a weird shift, not so much like actually making it boring. So this is the book that I have that it's here in the cases. It's called Atlas Dream Sequence, and you can see the book from either direction, and it's different from the other ones in the, well, I don't know, it's still the view of the Earth from above in a sense, but they're basically 16 map collages, and I have deliberately not, like, when I made the map collages, I chose to ignore the places where they're from, and so I wanted to make them sort of about any place, except thinking about the land and the sea. So it starts with, they're in a sequence, and it starts with a square island, and then it kind of like zooms in, or zooms out if you start from the other side. So each one zooms farther in. So I was kind of thinking it's like that movie, or Google Earth or whatever, but like the movie Powers is 10, but there's no 10 in it, it's just like keeping going in or out. But in this one I was thinking more about the form of the book, so there's all the images are symmetrical and they all kind of emanate from the spine or the gutter of the book. And it's square so that it's not directional, it's like cardinal directions, but none of them are actually the direction. And I wanted it to end or begin with the inverse of the other. So it ends with like a square lake instead of a square ocean.
You're going to sneeze up there. Achoo.
Really? So that book was, it was a series of 16 map collages that I scanned and then printed them and then bound it by hand. You can see it in the case, and it's an edition of 25. This one, on the other hand, is it's the biggest book that Lulu, that online print-on-demand thing, would produce, which is about 800 pages. And so it's really thick. And basically, it's a time lapse. I basically took a time lapse video of clouds, and then I'm going to show you the video which I made from it. So bear with me a second. So basically, I spread the time lapse image of the over the pages, so each page spread, and then videoed that. Well, you'll see. But it was kind of a proofing concept in a way. Like, when I did it, I wasn't.
How much did it cost you for that book?
So
How much did it cost for 850 pages?
I can't remember, like $100.
That's it?
Yeah, I mean, it's not, enough that I did it again. This one is, okay, so this one, so I've been obsessed with satellites. So this is the International Space Station, which orbits the Earth at, every 90 minutes, so like 17,000 miles an hour. And then we were driving in Arizona. I wasn't driving. And the car was going about 70 miles an hour. So, I mean, in all of these, I'm trying to think about like simultaneity of time or speed or.
Glad you were
Carson. What was the point about this one?
I was thinking about like simultaneity of speed. So like the space station is going around, is orbiting the Earth at 17,000 miles an hour, and we're driving a car at 70 miles an hour.
But what about the book? What's the book?
Oh, so the book is a time lapse of the International Space Station. So it's a slow video.
So by you leafing through the book while you're traveling, what's the point of that? That's what I don't. That's where my brain doesn't.
So I was thinking about the speed in the book being of the image in the book passing by being sort of parallel to me slowly, because I was paging through the book in real time and videoing myself over my shoulder, and then I sped up the video so that you could see the image in the book pages.
It must be. Yes. Okay. I'm not going to try and be literal about this.
I have just one more. So, I mean, I'm still kind of in the middle of this investigation. I feel like all of these are like just tests, kind of. Sorry, I don't see right.
Wow.
Oh, that is good.
So these are the same book. I mean, they're two copies of the same book, and they're just being paged through at different rates. So
You're going through faster on the right.
yeah.
I got that.
So I went. One person on the left was paging through at twice the rate. So they went all the way through it and then all the way through it back again, whereas the first one went through it once. So I've been I've been experimenting with that sort of thing, and I got diverted by making beach ball antennas, but I'm going to add that. So anyway, thank you.
Are you very good at math?
All I can say is I just love being with artists.
I think Heidi's very smart.
Yeah, she's a whiz. Thanks, that was great. I want to see those again. We were having such a good time looking at them the first time. I need to